Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and today is, well, for me it's the last day of 2022, but there's a very, very good chance you're probably seeing this in 2023. But before we get into new 2023 stuff, I actually wanted to go back and take a look at all the Marvel and DC movies that came out in 2022. So I wanted to rank them, because it's definitely a weaker year, I think, when it comes to Marvel DC movies. There were only two that I thought were, like, really, really good, and I had a hard time placing which one would be where in the top two. The others, not so much. But yeah, I think I can't wait to get into it, so let's just get started, I guess. In last place, we have a movie that I know, I can't believe I'm having it in last place either, because it's, not only is it probably the greatest movie on this list, but it's also probably the greatest movie of the year, maybe ever, of all time, because that is none other than the masterpiece we call Morbius. Oh, Morbius. So much potential, and you didn't use any of it. Yeah, Morbius, I thought Morbius is a movie I think had so much potential. It coulda and shoulda been such a great movie. Like the concept of this character, and like the trailers I thought looked awesome. Like the trailers were great. Sadly, the movie wasn't great, but the trailers were better than the movie. I mean, I think the concept of this doctor who only wants to save people, he wants to help people, but he also wants to save himself because he has this disease that there's no cure for. But because of him creating this cure, it gives him an alternate personality, which is the vampire. So even though Dr. Michael Morbius doesn't want to hurt anybody, just wants to help people, the living vampire wants to go out and kill people because he needs blood to survive. That to me is a great concept, and then having the best friend to come into it to add extra drama. I think this could have been a great movie, but instead it was messy. There was flashbacks that just didn't feel necessary, or they weren't necessary, but they were out of place. It definitely feels like the studio. It almost feels like the studio interfered with the movie too much, even though I'm not sure if that's what happened or not. But yeah, so much potential, and it didn't live up to any of it. And obviously, they very false marketed us with all the Spider-Man references in the trailers that not a single reference in the actual movie, besides the crappy end credit scenes that kind of ruined Homecoming. But yeah, I know I have to have that masterpiece in last just because I didn't enjoy it as much. But the next one up is also controversial, because I know a lot of people have it way higher, because at number 6, I have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I know, this is one that people actually do like, at least some people do, and I have it so low, but I just don't enjoy it as much as the other movies on this list. I don't know, that's just me, so I don't know, I just don't find myself enjoying it as much. I've said this multiple times before, I don't like what they did with Scarlet Witch's character arc. There was some lazy writing in it. I've talked about this movie a lot. Some lazy writing. The horror wasn't too bad. Sam Raimi's style, I did like. I thought his style was pretty cool in the movie, but I just don't find myself wanting to rewatch this one a lot. Not really. It is better on rewatch, on my second rewatch of it, but still, it's also the only movie I actually walked out of thinking, I'm not sure if only Marvel movie, well, besides Morbius, the only MCU movie that I expected to be good, walking out of the theater being, I'm not sure if I like that one or not. Morbius, I kind of knew it was going to be a train wreck, because I heard all the reviews, and it is gone from Sony. But yeah, but this one I expected to be good, but it was meh. Next up, though, bring us into the top 5 is one that people are going to think should be lower, at least than Doctor Strange. But that is none other than Thor, Love and Thunder. Now, like I said, this is one that I enjoy more than most people do. Does it still have flaws? Absolutely. It's way too goofy, yes. Once again, another movie with a whole lot of potential. You were able to convince Natalie Portman to return as Jane. You were able to convince Christian Bale to be Gore the God Butcher. Gore the God Butcher is one of the greatest Thor villains in the comic books. You have the mighty Thor Jane storyline, which I think is one of the greatest Thor storylines in the comic books. You have so much greatness prepared for this movie, and you kind of fumbled it. You just messed it up. You didn't live it out to full potential. Like I said, I still enjoyed it. Most of the jokes landed for me, but it wasn't the way I would have preferred it to be. So it was alright. It was okay. There's a lot of okay movies this year, honestly, when it comes to Marvel and DC. There were a lot of great movies. Top Gun Maverick was awesome, and there's a bunch of other good movies this year, but when it comes to Marvel and DC, mostly okay. At number 4, we have a DC movie. Finally. I know I'm playing Lego Marvel, but I didn't know what game to play because there's DC on here too. But at number 4, I'm actually going with Black Adam. This is one I actually really enjoy. Are there flaws? Yes. It was extremely predictable. The kid definitely gets more annoying on rewatch. I think my initial review, I said it wasn't that annoying. But I rewatched it twice, and the kid just got more annoying each time I watched it. So, people are winning me over with that. The Rock, it's still kind of hard to see him as Black Adam. I still see him mostly as The Rock, but I still enjoy his portrayal of Black Adam. And the action scenes were awesome. The visuals, sometimes they were great, other times they were not so good. Like when when The Rock was supposed to be skinny, they didn't do a very good job with that. But the electricity and Hawkman and all that stuff was cool. I love the JSA. I loved all 4 characters. Cyclone and Atom Smasher may not have gotten a lot of development, but I still ended up finding myself really enjoying their characters. And then Dr. Fate was just awesome. Pierce Brosnan did a great job as him, and then Hawkman was also an enjoyable character that I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, definitely some flaws. Predictable. Annoying kid. He felt like the kid felt like he was trying to be Freddy from Shazam way too much when he shouldn't have tried to be that. But yeah, I won't lie. I am disappointed that we won't be able to see Black Adam 2 with The Rock. But things happen, I guess. Now bring us into the top 3. I have a movie that I know a lot of people have way lower as well, but I can't help it if I actually find myself enjoying this one more than the others, and that is at number 3, DC League of Super Pets. I know, right? I wasn't expecting it to be this high either. But somehow, DC League... Ow! Watch where you're going, my gosh. But somehow, DC League of Super Pets, I enjoy more than the other films on this list. Now, is there a chance it could go lower on this list? It's possible, because my opinions do change a lot, so it's very possible that it could move down the list after rewatching this and the other films. But, like, I walked out of the theater having had a lot of fun, which I can't say about Morbius or Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness. I find myself wanting to rewatch it more than Thor: Love and Thunder, and I thought the only competition really was Black Adam. I had a hard time placing Black Adam in DC League of Super Pets, so those two probably could actually switch. But I don't want to rewatch it as much as the other top 2 on this list. Well, actually maybe, because the top 2 are really long, but not as good in my personal opinion. But yeah, I'm just as shocked as you are that I end up this high on the list. But I walked out there having a great time. Unlike Morbius and Multiverse of Madness, I want to rewatch it way more than I want to rewatch Thor: Love and Thunder. So, not as good as the top 2 though. The only competition was Black Adam for it. Alright, but now we bring it to the top 2, which these top 2, I go back and forth on which one I like better. Because, like, I could say the obvious, because I've seen other people's lists. This is everyone's top 2. You know what they are. And if you build myself at everyone's top 2, you know what order they're in. But I'm not going to lie to you. I have a really hard time choosing between these 2. I don't know what to do. My gosh, this is so hard. At number 2, do I want to do it? Do I want to do what everyone else does, or do I want to be different? Should I be different? Maybe I should just do it, just be different, even if I don't know. Alright, so these top 2 are practically tied, because I'm not going to lie to you, I have a really hard time. So, just because this is ranking, and I have to say a number 2 and a number 1, I'm going to say it this way, but they're pretty much tied. At number 2, I'm going to go The Batman. Okay, I already regret saying that. Okay, you already know what they are. Number 2 is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Number 1 is The Batman. But those two could very much change for me. I know a lot of people are like, The Batman is way better than Wakanda Forever. I don't know. Wakanda Forever I really liked. And The Batman has one flaw that really gets on my nerves, but which one should I talk about first? I think we're going to talk about The Batman first. So, The Batman, I really enjoyed it for the most part. I thought the atmosphere was great. The Gotham was so much fun. I actually found myself really liking the cast more than I thought I would. Especially Robert Pattinson. He did a great job as Batman. Not so much Bruce Wayne, but, you know, we also don't have much to go off of for Bruce Wayne. Colin Farrell is unrecognizable as the Penguin. Zoe Kravitz is a great Catwoman. Jeffrey Wright is an outstanding James Commissioner Gordon. Or he's not Commissioner Gordon, he's just Officer Gordon, right? I really like the world. Paul Dano's Riddler was awesome and terrifying. However, I have two major flaws with this movie. Oh, also, not a flaw. This is something that's also... the movie's just beautiful. It's beautiful to look at. This is one that... It's like... if you missed out seeing this one in theater, I feel bad, because this one looks amazing in the theater. Like, if you have 4K, if you got a projector, that's what you want to watch this movie on, because that's the best experience. But my two biggest problems is, one, the movie feels way too long to me, personally. It's really hard for me to rewatch this movie because of how long it is. Practically 3 hours. When movies are too long, it's harder for me to rewatch them, even if I think they're the greatest movies ever. Take Infinitey War and Endgame, for example. I absolutely love this movie. It's one of my top 2 favorite movies of all time. I don't have myself rewatching them a whole lot just because they're really long. But that's one problem. I'm not gonna lie, there were times, especially my first time watching it. My first time watching it, more so than the second time, I could feel it drag. I don't know what would be better to cut out, but I could feel it, like, drag. And my other major problem with this movie, which I'm not gonna lie, kind of gets my nerves, is the mole, the rat, La Rata, the mystery villain. It was Falcone. It was the most obvious person ever. My gosh. So to me personally, this huge 3-hour runtime felt like it was for nothing. Because to me it's like, why do we waste 3 hours trying to find out Falcone was evil? We already knew that. We could have just went to get him in the first place. Like, why couldn't you guys have come up with something interesting? Make it a corrupt cop or something. Make it, I don't know, make it someone we had no idea who it was. There were some twists and turns in there that were pretty good and surprising, like Falcone being Selena Kyle's father was an interesting twist.
Must be some new kind of...
His ties to Gotham, it was nice to learn about. But still, to me, it's like, you're trying to make a mystery of who the mole is, and it's literally the most obvious person ever. Because, I mean, I guess technically there's a thing where, when the movie first started, I was like, it's not Falcone, right? Because we already know he's a villain. They're setting up like it's a mystery villain that we don't know who it is. And I already know Falcone's evil, so who else could it be? But then they said Falcone, I was just like, I just facepalmed so hard, I was like, what? Why would you make it so obvious? Why? Why? Now, technically you could say, if this is someone who doesn't know Batman watching this for the first time, this is their first exposure to Batman, it could be like, oh, what? I didn't know that, but most people know who Batman is, and even the people who don't know him from the comic books, don't know Falcone's evil from the comic books, they've probably seen the Dark Knight trilogy, because that's pretty popular. Like, my gosh. That's my biggest flaw with the movie. But I can't deny, it's still a really good movie and really enjoyable. And then, when it comes to Black Panther Wakanda Forever, another movie that I really found myself enjoying this movie. It was extremely emotional. I really liked it. I thought the ending was fantastic. The comedy, none of the comedy felt forced. Similarly to the Batman, that extremely dark movie had some really funny comedy in it that didn't feel at all forced. Same thing with this movie. I enjoyed the characters. I really liked Shuri's character arc. Like the Batman, I really enjoyed Batman's character arc. I keep bringing it back to him for some reason. Again, this movie did feel really long. I feel like they probably could have cut out Ironheart stuff, honestly, maybe? I don't know. It did make me like Ironheart more, but I'm not sure if it was 100% necessary. But, yeah, I found myself really enjoying Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So, my top 2 favorites of 2022, The Batman, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I think those 2 movies are awesome, despite my flaws. I know I went on a pretty long rant about Falcone being the mole in The Batman. But, you know, I get over it eventually. I still enjoy the movie. I saw it twice, I think. Not in the theater. I missed out seeing it twice in the theater. I saw the first time in theater though. But yeah, I really enjoyed those top two, and then League of Super Pets, Black Adam. I really enjoyed. Thor: Love and Thunder was a fun time at the movies. Multiverse Madness and Morbius were they were movies about superheroes. Well, kinda. Morbius was supposed to be a villain movie. Let's be honest, it wasn't a villain movie. It was a superhero movie. They made Morbius a hero. Which Dr. Michael Morbius is kind of a hero because he's a doctor who's trying to save people. Morbius the living vampire is not. He's murdering people. I mean, he does need their blood to survive, but still. But yeah, thanks so much for taking time to watch this video. I hope you like it. If you like this video, please hit like. If you want to see more videos like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I think I reviewed every movie on this list. Let me double check. Yeah, I reviewed every movie on this list. Some have spoiler reviews, some don't. But still, every movie on this list has had a review. So go check those out. You can get my more in-depth thoughts on these movies. Like Multiverse Madness, I talked about so many times. I've done a couple other rankings for that movie, plus 2 reviews. No spoilers. And a bunch of other, and some other videos related to it. So go check that out if you want, if you're interested. If not, you don't have to. I'm hoping to do 2023 Marvel DC movies ranked by anticipation in a couple days, maybe a month. I don't know. It depends on how long it takes. But yeah, let me know what you thought of all the 2022 Marvel DC movies that came out this year. What was your favorite? What was your least favorite? Or just rank them all. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Is Morbius at the top? We know Morbius is at the top. I mean, come on. It was great, even if I didn't enjoy it, right? Thank you so much for taking time to watch. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!